migrant, you can run a business in the UK. But then you are thinking that if you go ahead now and run a business, and then you put in an application, you're going to be penalized by the Home Office, which means they're going to refuse your application on the basis that you have breached the conditions of your visa as a skilled worker migrant. As a skilled worker migrant in the UK, you come to the UK on the basis of a sponsorship. So you are sponsored by your main employer to come and work for the employer. If you want to work for another employer, we all know that you can do 20 hours supplementary employment within the same occupational code as your main job. So you can do that, we all know. But in terms of running a business, what can you do as a skilled worker migrant? Like everybody else, a skilled worker migrant can buy shares and bonds in a company, can buy houses, can buy assets in the UK. I mean, anyone can do that. You can do that from abroad, indeed, if you've never been to the UK. So a skilled worker migrant can buy companies, even 100% of companies, and own everything. I think the question here is, can you run the business? What does it mean to run a business? To be employed by the business as a director and make day-to-day decisions and work for the business. Can you work for that business as a skilled worker migrant? Yes, you can work for that business, but a business would have to sponsor you in compliance with the rules. So if that company is providing you with a sponsorship, you can switch over and become an employee of your own business. But the question you seem to be grappling with is, as a skilled worker migrant, you can run a business. So you cannot be working for your main employer, which you're supposed to work full-time for, as stated in your certificate of sponsorship, and at the same time, run a business full-time. You cannot do that because it means you're working for a business. And how do you work for a business without being sponsored? You cannot. I think this should be clarified. Yes, you can own shares in a business, but if you want to work for that business, you should get sponsored by the business. You could even keep your existing company and use the provisions on secondary COS. So secondary employment is different from supplementary employment. So you can obtain another COS that enables you work for your own company that you own and work for the company of your existing sponsor. You could do that as well. But to run a business, work for the business, while you're working for your main employer is a breach of the conditions of the immigration rules. Breach of conditions of the rules would affect you when you go back to put in an application when it comes to suitability. So that is the first point. Now, the second point, I think, is that of you not being satisfied with the fact that the Home Office is providing you with guidance. They responded to your inquiries. And if you are misled by the Home Office, you feel aggrieved. Well, the thing is, the immigration rules, it's a kind of law, is made by the Parliament, and you are entitled to interpret that law in a similar manner that the Home Office is entitled to do. The Home Office does not provide legal advice. If you ring up the inquiry line and they tell you something that you disagree with, you don't have to follow what they tell you. And if you put in an application and the application is refused and you're not happy about it, you can go to the Immigration Tribunal, which is a specialist avenue for you to redress decisions by the Home Office. Now, if you feel that the information sent to you, if you feel it is misleading, then you could also try judicial review. But that is something else. You've got to contact a lawyer specialized in JRs to be able to help you with that. Or if you feel you can help yourself, by all means, you could go ahead and help yourself on that. But I don't think it is something you should be worried about. Try to understand the laws if you think you can. If you think you need help from a lawyer, consult a lawyer. The immigration law is complex. And it's been the case that judges and lawyers alike have said it, that immigration laws are complex. So where you have complex issues, it is worth your while to consult with other immigration lawyers in order to be satisfied that you are doing the right thing. Clearly, you're not happy about what the Home Office has told you. Right, I do understand why you're not happy. There are two things to clarify here. The Home Office has advised you that you as a skilled worker might